The new Soulfly album, Enslaved, is almost like a concept album dealing with the topic of slavery. I was curious if that was an idea Max had for a while now.
Yeah, the idea is actually an old idea. It was I had it in '98 when I did the first Soulfly. I said I want to do a slavery record one day, and then I pushed the idea in the back of my head and didn't think about it until now. And when it came time to do this record, I thought it would be a great idea to do this slavery record, and I didn't have a topic, so call it Enslaved, and start reading a little more about slavery, and got to do some other songs related to slavery, like Chains, Gladiators, Legions, and yeah, so it was cool, you know. It was an old idea, so it's finally out, and I feel very good about it.
Yeah, it's great, and it's very aggressive from start to finish.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the album. It's very extreme. We want to show an extreme side of Soulfly that has never been shown before. More death metal oriented, really a lot of power chords and a lot of energy and a lot of aggression. And so the whole CD pretty much goes in that kind of death metal direction. And with the slavery lyrics, I think it's a great combination. I think it makes it just a very powerful CD.
Yeah, I would agree. And you also went through some lineup changes since the last Soulfly album. How have the new guys fit in, and have they contributed to that more aggressive feel?
Oh, it's perfect. It was just the right guys I was looking for. I actually was kind of glad that we had to change members. From time to time, Soulfly goes through these, like we did in 2004, and I changed all the other three guys, and we did it again now, changing the bass player and the drummer, and I went and looked for the best people, and Tony was one of the people I found. Great bass player, solid bass player, plays bass almost like a guitar, so it's almost like we have three guitars now in the band. And we found David, that's an extreme death metal drummer that plays great death metal and double bass and blast beats and has a lot of energy, so they brought all that to the table, and I think it really added to the sound of the new album, having those guys around. They helped me make this record more powerful.
Something else I know you've been working on is an autobiography. How's that book coming along?
It's coming along good. It's a slow process. I've been working on all last year, done 1,000 interviews with a writer. Joe MacGyver is an English writer that's doing it. We got Dave Grohl to do the intro of the book. I think that's going to be pretty cool. And then we have a bunch of interviews with a lot of people that know me and been around me, and people I work with, some musicians I work with, some people I work with, some producers, and should be out by Christmas. That's what we're hoping for, and hopefully be done by then.
Did you hold anything back from the book?
It's pretty cool. It's going to really explain a lot of things, especially the Sepultura split part. It's really detailed, and I just didn't hold nothing back, and I just said everything exactly how it was, how I felt, and so a lot of fans can finally understand exactly why I left the band, and it explains how I made Sepultura, how I split from them, and how I created Soulfly, and so I think it's going to be a pretty cool book.
Well, you've had an amazing journey in the world of music, so it's going to be an awesome read. What was the hardest thing for you to share in the book?
The hardest part was the death of my father. It was a really hard moment in my life, and then the death of Dana, which happened in '96, and both of those deaths affected my life and my career, and without the death of my father, I wouldn't probably play music. And so, you know, in a way, he's responsible for me playing music after he passed away. And I think without Dana, it wouldn't be Soulfly. So both of those deaths are huge. There are two things that I didn't like that happened. It was very sad that happened, but they did affect my life and my career. And those are really two real hardcore subjects I had to approach in the book, and it was a little bit uncomfortable to talk about it, but I had to let it out and let people know what I felt about it.
And do you find, like, now that you've kind of let it out and it's going to be out there, did it bring almost a therapeutic sense to it?
I think so. Once people read it, I think it's going to be a lot better, especially for them to understand the transition between why I left Sepultura and why I created Soulfly. It's more explanatory for a lot of people that didn't know. A lot of people have doubts, still, why did he leave such a band that was in the height of success and all these things? And book really will explain why, and people get to understand why I did what I did and why it had to be done and why Soulfly was created.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans, your side of the story has always been kind of muddled with rumor and that through the internet and everything, so it'll be nice to have yours in print that we can look at.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
And then one of my favorite Max Cavalera stories is the Eddie Vedder story. Is that going to be in the book?
Yeah. It had to be there. You know, it was like a lot of people know about it, and it's such a funny kind of punk rock story. You know, it's hilarious, and so it's going to be there with among many others like that, similar ones.
So for those that don't know, you puked on Eddie Vedder at one point, and you say they're similar stories. Does that mean you've puked on other people?
Well, there's a story of me meeting Dino from Fear Factory for the first time, and we're in this club in L.A., and I don't remember none of this because I was pissed drunk. But Dino said that it was we went to the bathroom together, and there was a poser guy pissing between us, and I just turned around and pissed all over the guy's leg. and I look at Dino and say, "Fuck this poser guy." And Dino was like, "Hey, I'm Dino from Fear Factory. Like, nice to meet you." So that's how we first met. And I had no recollection of that. I told Dino I had no idea what you're talking about.
That is a great story. Man, I really can't wait to get my hands on the book, and I've got my hands on the new Soulfly, and it is phenomenal. You just keep outdoing yourself, sir.
Yeah, just got to keep trying, man. You know, it's what I love to do is music, and I'm connected to it. I'm excited about it. I'm hooked to it, and the fans give me all the energy I need. I love going on tour. I just got back from South America. We had an unbelievable South American tour. It was amazing shows, and crowd was fucking great, and that just gives me my fire going.